We're spending 22 minutes with actress Judy Greer, sponsored by Hint Water. And we have a lot of beverages here today, including these fabulous concoctions.
No, these I'm really excited about. These are milkshakes by New Territories, which is a milkshake company that's located on the Lower East Side. And they made milkshakes for us today with Lactaid milk and Lactaid ice cream for those of us
Dairy sensitive?
Dairy sensitivity, yeah, which I think most people actually kind of are, I'm realizing, because the more and more I talk about Lactaid, more people are like, oh, that's what I drink, that's all I drink, that's all I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was so excited when I found out, when I got involved with them, that they had ice cream, because that was like a major bummer.
Right, and today is first day of summer.
First day of summer,
Couldn't be better timing.
Perfect time for milkshakes. I know, I was really excited. They're really great, and yeah, you don't have any of the lactose that
any of the
some
bad
people,
stuff.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. I want to know how they get the sprinkles on
I know
the
how
side.
they do that.
Do you? Can you share?
So basically, I don't know if they did it with these, but I learned how to make one already, and you put chocolate. You can either just put chocolate on the rim and then dip it in the sprinkles, or like here you could maybe put the chocolate on the glass and then put the sprinkles on top. That's how you do that. And then you can put it in the freezer while you let it freeze for a minute and then take it out and make your milkshake.
Almost like a margarita-esque.
I'm not going to say that, but
okay.
I mean, that's your words. But I mean, in your words, sure.
So summertime, milkshake time, but no time off for Judy Greer. No. You're always working.
I know, I am. And I was trying to figure out why I was feeling so much busier this year than other years. And then I remembered, oh yeah, because I'm building a house, and work, you know, is a good thing when you're doing construction and picking out tiles and stuff. So yeah, I've had such a crazy spring and summer already, and I have so many more things to look forward to.
Yeah, so many TV and movie and projects.
Yeah, I have already finished shooting like 7, I think it was, episodes of Casual, which is on Hulu right now. I have War of the Planet of the Apes coming out mid-July. I'm going back to Ant-Man for that sequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Archer's always ongoing. We'll be doing a lot of stuff with Archer at Comic-Con this year. We usually come to New York too.
Wow.
I think that already passed though. Anyway, yeah, it's been a really busy summer. There's so much going on.
Let's talk a little bit about Casual. I was reading the reviews. I'm like, okay, this is definitely my next binge. It's such a great premise. The sister moving, she's divorced, she has a teenage daughter, she moves back in with her bachelor brother, and she wants to have casual relationships.
I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that, but I do know she was married for so long. She has a teenage daughter, and then I think the character played by Michaela Watkins, and she's just incredible. She really wants to kind of have her moment to enjoy her life, let's say. So she does. She moves back in with her brother, and then tries to sort of, she endeavors to just date, if you will. Which I thought was funny. My husband, he's divorced and has 2 kids, and when he went through his divorce, he moved back in with his mother, and I asked him, so is this what it was like? He was like, no. I was joking, though.
The show, I guess I read one description of it. If this is like the golden age of TV now, with all these choices and all these streaming services, this is almost like, if a lot of TV shows are like movies, this is almost like an indie movie on TV, fair to say?
I feel that way. When I was on set shooting it, it felt that way. It felt very isolated in a good way. Like sometimes when you're shooting a network show, you have a lot of, the studio and the network, they come by a lot, and this feels kind of more like we were on an island just making this little show. It was really fun, and it does feel like you're making a movie. I don't know why and what the difference is. It just has that vibe to it, and I think when you watch it, it kind of does too.
Season 3?
Yes, season 3, and you can totally binge the first 2 seasons on Hulu and catch up right now with the episodes they've already aired on Hulu.
Speaking of streaming services and binging, Arrested Development, I don't know what this says about me as a mother, but when I said that you were coming in today, both of my daughters, teenagers, they were like, oh, say goodbye to these.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you know all this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you get that? Like when
I
you
don't
walk on
think
the
you're
street?
a bad parent.
No,
I think
it's
you're
okay.
a great parent.
It's okay to let them
If you
watch.
want to show them anything I'm in, I like my fans. I like to start them young so that they're
Okay.
forever fans, and I get my fans to last a really long time. Yeah, that was a real like kind of game changer for me. Who knew?
Yeah. Kitty, crazy Kitty.
Crazy Kitty Sanchez.
Would you say that that's what most people recognize you for? I mean, you've worked with so many different.
I know. I would say it's that 13 going on 30,
right.
and I just spaced. Oh, I was on 2.5 Men a handful of times.
Okay, so
and
network
that
TV
one,
sitcom, of course, that has a huge
I know,
audience.
and
right.
it was such a beloved show. I think with Charlie and with Ashton. So a lot, like everywhere I go, I would say it's one of those three. The most.
How was it working with Charlie?
I loved Charlie. We had a really good time together. He was really funny. He was very quiet. He was not like his character at all, but like really sweet and quiet. I had a really good time with him. And then I have like a full-on crush on Ashton Kutcher. I can't help myself. He is amazing. And so
you and everybody else in the world, I think.
I mean, and by the way, he is so crush-worthy. Like, he's the nicest person and so fun and so pretty. I mean, handsome. I mean, just all of it. I have a funny story about him. Do you want to hear it? Okay.
Absolutely.
So when I was doing the first episode, I think I was back and he was on it. They had a big 2.5 Men Christmas party. And so I brought my husband and stepkids in to watch the taping, and then we were going to go right to this Christmas party. And I, of course, wanted to introduce everyone to Ashton, but I don't like to be pushy or anything. So we're at the Christmas party. Ashton walks in and no one is around. I was like, okay, come on, let's go, let's go. So we walk over and I'm like, Ashton, this is my stepdaughter, Emily. And he's like, oh, hey, didn't you have a soccer game last week? How did that go? Because I was talking about it on set. And she's like, oh my gosh, Ashton Kutcher knows about my soccer game? Oh my gosh. She's like, it was good, it was good. He's like, yeah. And then I'm like, this is Lucas. And then he was like, oh, so aren't you playing football this year? And I had told him Lucas was playing football. And so Lucas is like, uh-huh. And he's like, yeah, I used to coach. I could probably show you a few things if you ever want to.
Sure.
And then, so then Lucas is now totally hooked. And then I'm like, there's no way that this is going to happen with my husband, who's been around a lot of celebrities, turns and says, you know, I think, did Judy tell me we were in the same fraternity? And then they start doing this secret fraternity, like a back and forth poem that is supposed to be a secret. And then my husband was completely infatuated with it too. And I was like, wow. In the course of 3 minutes, he totally won over my whole entire family.
Charmed everybody.
Charmed the pants off of them.
Pretty and has a good memory.
Great memory.
That's awesome.
Who knew?
Awesome. Yeah, I meant to ask you about Arrested Development.
Yes.
Are you going to be back next year? The show's coming back next year, right?
If I say anything about it, someone will come in and kill me.
Someone will kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want the Netflix
Not in a creepy-
people
that was a joke.
descending
They won't
upon
really.
the
Yes.
set here.
No,
Okay, okay, we'll just have to watch and find out.
But how could they not, right? I mean, guys, if you're watching, you have to bring me back.
It wouldn't be a show without Kitty. War for Planet of the Apes. I've been seeing billboards. I've been seeing crazy amount of advertising. This is exciting. This is coming out. And this is also a recurring role, if you will, for you, right?
Back as Cornelia. If I play my cards right, I'm never going to have to play a brand new character ever again. I can just keep coming back. Yeah, this is, I mean, I haven't seen the finished product yet. I haven't seen the final of the movie, but it is so amazing what I have seen. And I really hope, if I could say anything, I just hope that Andy Serkis gets a nomination out of this. I mean, he deserves, I think, from the beginning, for all of his performances, but I was just so blown away by watching him in these movies, acting with him on set. I just think it would be so great if he was the first actor to get nominated for a motion capture role. I would really hope that the Academy would recognize that.
Okay, we put our plug in.
I swear he is just the greatest guy, and his performance in these movies is just so beautiful and moving.
Can you explain how that works? I read the motion capture suit is what you wear when you're on the set. How does that work?
I call it a Velcro unitard, but it's not really. It's like, it's a gray, long-sleeved, kind of like a onesie, except it is 2 pieces, thank goodness, for when you have to go to the bathroom. And then they do Velcro onto it all of these sensors, and then they paint your face with these dots, and you wear this helmet that has this little camera that kind of comes over your head, and it ends up to be about right here to capture and super close up all the different expressions that your face makes, I think on all the different planes of your face. And then the sensors that they Velcro to your whole little unitard, they are all captured by these cameras that are everywhere along the set. And then these amazing digital artists go in after the fact and like create the ape on top of our performances.
Wow.
And it is just incredible. It's like really weird the first day of work, and then you get used to it. And then,
come a long way from the Charlton Heston days, right?
It's funny because people still will ask me, they're like, how long were you in hair and makeup? And I'm like, seriously? Like, 1 minute. They had to paint the dots on my face. That was it. But it is funny that people still think that we do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's too realistic to be makeup. It's
so
crazy.
Beautiful,
yeah.
and it's incredible. There's like thousands of artists who are working on it.
Yeah. And your husband, I've heard you say that your husband is a huge Planet of the Apes freak in general, right?
Yeah, he is. He's kind of the reason that I'm a part of it. He loved his whole life. He's loved the franchise, and when we got married, we played different Planet of the Apes films in the bar during cocktail hour on the different TVs, and I got this beautiful porcelain cake topper from Etsy that was a chimp, a bride and groom chimp that I put on our cake as a surprise. And then I bought him as a wedding present a vintage Rolex from 1968, which is when the first one came out, I believe, and I had it engraved, "Ape shall not kill ape." And the engraver called me like 3 times to triple make sure that's really what I wanted to have engraved on a Rolex. I was like, no, that's it. That's it. It has to be that.
Not "I'll love you forever."
No,
but.
trust me, that he would have been like, oh, that's nice. But when he saw this, he was like, oh my gosh. So we do this whole wedding this way, and it was really fun. Just like kind of nods to it. And then we were, when the movie came out, Rise of the Planet of the Apes came out, I got tickets to the premiere, took him to that, and he said, you have to get in the next movie. Like, you have to. They're going to make another one. You know they already talking about it. So I talked to my agent, and he talked to the casting director. The casting director said, well, there's no more roles left. There's only one woman in the movie, and it was cast, Carrie Russell's playing that role. And my agent was like, no, I think she wants to play an ape. So I went, and I had to audition, and I had to go to like an ape movement class, and I got the part.
Wow.
And made my husband the happiest man, I would say in America, but maybe in the whole world. When I found out I was playing Cornelia, Queen of the Apes, he couldn't even believe it. And I couldn't believe it. And now that's like my thing.
Right.
And we also got involved weirdly because of this. A friend of ours reached out and said, oh, I'm working with this group that's opening this chimpanzee sanctuary called Project Chimps about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And we know you guys love the ape franchise, and you love apes, and you love chimps, and maybe you guys would like to get involved in this. And so now we're also helping to raise money to finish building this sanctuary for chimpanzees.
That's great.
Yeah, I know.
Great.
It's become like my thing, just out of nowhere.
You mentioned a little while ago 13 going on 30, which I've only seen like
700
either
times.
13 or 30 times.
Yeah.
I forget. I forget which. But and I thought it was so funny too that people will say, Judy Greer, oh yeah, I knew you from a lot of rom-com movies, and the title of your book from a few years back, 2014.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what you know me from my life as a co-star. So do you get that? Do you get that a lot?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah. What are you in? What are you in? What are you in? I know you. What are you in? And I'm always like,
is that
dude,
okay?
It's totally fine. It's just sometimes I don't have time to sit. I actually wrote about this in my book, but I was like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like if I'm running through an airport and you stop me and ask me what they know you from, like I don't have time to sit and name all the things. I can usually sort of guess by looking at someone, but yeah, it's that's a funny, when I tell other character actors what my book is called, they all just die. They love it so much because it does happen all the time.
But in a way, I would think that would be good. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because I can totally go to Target whenever I want. Like, I can walk around the city streets unbothered, untethered. I don't have to, it's so, I kind of think that I got the best of both worlds because I get to work all the time. I get to play amazing characters and work with amazing people, but I'm really just like a regular person.
I was going to say, instead of having like 1 or 2 big movies and a lot of press and then, oh, whatever happened to?
Yeah,
You know, your Internet Movie Database is like yay long.
It's pretty long.
Yeah.
I know. I did look at it recently because I was like, how many things have I done? And I was like, oh, wow. Not
That's
bad.
a lot. That's
Not
a
bad,
lot.
Greer.
That's a lot. How was it working on 13, going on 30 with, is Jennifer Garner as sweet as she?
No, she's terrible.
She's horrible.
Terrible.
Huh?
She's
Yeah,
a terrible. No, she's one of my close friends. She's like that sweet. I mean, whatever you see about her or read about her is so 100% true. I mean, she's just like that person. She's happy and wide-eyed and like, just like in that movie. And I remember on the set of that was when she taught me how to text message because we all still had like our little flip phones, remember? And you had to like pound out, like, remember
Those
when you
are
were
awful.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, how did we even manage?
I don't know.
How did we even function? But yeah, I was like, what are you doing? Why do you keep touching your phone? And she was like, I'm texting. And I was like, blowing my mind right now. What are you doing? And she taught me how to text.
So you've done a lot of rom-coms.
Yeah, I love them.
Who would be like your dream rom-com best friend, like to work with in the future?
Am I allowed to say her again, even though we already have?
Could.
Because I really...
For somebody else, maybe?
I mean, I do have, like, I really would love to work with Sandra Bullock. I have never worked with her.
Oh.
And I love her so much. And
You'd be a great team. I can totally see that.
I mean, Blindside is so great. I know it's not a romantic comedy, but I really, like, love that movie. Yeah, I think she's amazing, and I would love to do something with her, like something like that, like fun romantic comedy.
Right. So you have to tell me if this is a Wikipedia myth or truth.
Fact or fiction?
Weird jobs that you've had.
Yeah.
Telemarketer?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Were people really mean to you when you called them?
Yeah.
Can you think of a mean thing to
I
somebody?
can tell you why it was so terrible. It was terrible for many reasons, but I worked for, this was a job I had in college, and I worked for the college, you know, so I was one of those people that call alumni and say like, hey, what's up? I'm calling from DePaul University, and we're raising money right now, and wondering if you'd like to, and either just a full-on click, like a hang up, or swear words, or just like an angry, like, speech about why they didn't have any money. And at first I was just like, people are so rude. And then as time went on, I started to realize, oh my gosh, like, these are all people who graduated from the college I am currently enrolled in, and they have no money and they're out of work. Like, this is not a good thing. Like, I think I need to get out of here because it's starting to really bring me down. Like, if I made a horrible life decision, they also had this rule that if you raised $500, I believe, during a shift, you could leave. So one night there was a concert I really wanted to go to. I think my girlfriend was in town, and I called my dad, like, as soon as I got to work, and I was like, hey, this is crazy, but would you ever maybe want to give the college $500 right now? And he was like, okay, fine. And then I got to stand up from my cubicle and be like, I got it! And then I got to go home. So that worked out well that one day. I don't remember the band that one day, but it was kind of like disturbing to hear the upset alumni. But then every once in a while you get someone that's like, oh yeah, I was just going to send you guys a check. And you're like, seriously? Oh my gosh. Wow, thank you. For how much? Like $25. I'm like, I'll take it. I'd love 50. Do you want to double that tonight?
But all that time that you were doing that, were you like, okay, I'm doing this silly job where people are going to be mean to me, but I know one day.
No, I thought I might end up doing that forever. I didn't have a lot of self-esteem, but that's okay. I think that's what made me like have a lot of energy when I finally got out of college to really like pursue it.
What was the first big role when you felt like you were on your path?
Well, it's a terrible story to tell people who are just starting out. But I got the first audition I auditioned for was a romantic comedy, of course, called Kissing a Fool. It shot in Los Angeles. What did I say? LA. I was in Chicago still. I was just about to graduate, and it shot in Chicago the summer after I graduated, and it was with David Schwimmer and Jason Lee and Mili Avital and Bonnie Hunt, and I auditioned for it, and I got it, and I was like, wait. Really?
Isn't it supposed to be harder?
So crazy. And I didn't make a ton of money, but it was enough to pay off my credit card debt, because I remember calling my dad and being like, Dad, what am I going to do with all this money? And it was probably like $1,000 or something, which at the time might as well have been $1 million when you're a poor college student, you know? Yeah. And then I got a play in Chicago, and then I got a guest star on this TV show called Early Edition with Kyle Chandler. It also shot in Chicago. So I got like a couple jobs right away, and I was like, this is like not that hard. And that's kind of how it's been ever since. I'm embarrassed to say.
That's not bad.
I know, it just isn't like, I wish I had some kind of like here's the 5-step plan for making it in Hollywood, because people ask me a lot for advice, and I'm like, you know what, I don't know, maybe start taking classes at like Upright Citizens Brigade. Like, I don't know, because I really
There's
did
no
have
formula though. Everybody, everybody I talk to has a different story.
I think there's no formula for anything that you want to do when you're starting out. You just have to really want to do it, and you have to maybe have like a hobby outside of it so that you don't go crazy.
Maybe something to fall back on.
Yeah.
So I got to spend 22 minutes with you today.
Are we done?
Almost, except I have to ask you, I have to try to stump you now with the question.
Okay.
All right. Want to take a sip of the milkshake first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Give you some energy. So if you could spend 22 minutes with anybody, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, geez.
That probably makes it harder.
I mean, I really want to know. I have some theories about Marilyn Monroe's death.
Oh.
I know, that is really random.
We could spend 22 minutes on that.
I would love to ask her what happened that night. And then I have to also, I guess my real answer would probably be my grandpa who passed away. I would love like one last 22 minutes with him. I mean, it's not that sexy, but it's how I feel. I would love to hang out with him for one more 22-minute session. We used to play rummy together, and it was really fun, and I'd like to end on a good note and not a sad one. So what else? Say one nice, happy thing.
One nice, happy thing. When do we get to see you next? We get to see you on Hulu.
Hulu.
We get to see the new Planet of the
Planet
Apes.
Yep.
And some other movie projects, shall we just say, in the works?
In the works.
In the works. One that I've read about. I'm not going to talk about it here, but I am hoping that this is true, because I will be first in line for your movie.
Well, hopefully you will have me back to talk about it for 22 minutes.
I would love to.
We could spend the whole 22 minutes on that.
Are you going to bring shakes again?
Yeah.
Please?
I don't go anywhere without my lactate milkshakes. That is now in my rider.
Judy Greer, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.